for another story from that old storyteller himself, Stewed Tomatoes.
Good evening, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so very glad to be here tonight. I've been looking forward to this, as you could tell by the date, for quite some time. Just the other day, I felt like I was almost 30. According to the date, I'm almost 50 now. I have a quaint little story I'd like to share with you, and it's been passed down to me from generation to generation. It's, well, it's Mr. Moose and I. We'd like to now take you on a short tale. Mr. Moose. Can you say that? Moose, that's right, I knew you could. Okay. Now, I'd like you all to become comfortable. Let's see, Mr. Moose and I will read you a tale. Are we all set?
Yeah.
Well, you.
Yeah.
No problem. Okay. It was the night before Christmas, when all through the house, I locked all the doors because the morons were out. The drinks were lined up on the bar with care. I knew the morons would soon be here. The children were nestled with terror in bed, while visions of trombones slid around in their heads. And Mama in her nightgown and I with my Jim Beam had just settled down to watch Jimmy D.
Big Bell John.
Boom, boom. When out on the lawn, there arose such a clatter. Clatter! I sprang from my chair to see what was the matter. Mr. Moose and I would like to continue our story. I hope everybody's comfortable. Away to the window, I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new-fallen snow gave a luster of midday to the objects below. When what to my wondering eyes should appear but a Chevrolet all full of beer. With a large little driver, so lively and hip, I knew right away it was Santa Mike and Santa Chip. More rapid than weasels, Santa's morons they came. And he swore and he shouted. Santa called them by name. Are we having fun, boys and girls?
Yes.
Word. Now Doc, now Miles, now Bub, now Toots. On Al, on Betsy, on Bazooka, on Boots. To the door of the porch, to the door of the house. We were all, hey dear, we all better hurry if we want to get soused. I'm already on my way, boys and girls. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the front steps, the morons all flew. With hands full of music, and Santa's mic, and cheap too. And then in a twinkling, I heard a knock on the door. I tried not to answer it, but a B-flat roared. It always needs tuning. As I drew in my head and was turning around, through the door came Santa Mike with his trousers falling down. Santa Chip was all dressed in fur from his head to his foot. Santa Mike's clothes were all tarnished with beer and soot. A bundle of morons he had to his back, and they looked like animals while opening six-packs.
Give me that quarter with that sugar. Hey,
Kevin's eyes, how they twinkled. His dimples, how merry. You could tell he was looking for another Bloody Mary. And Al's little nose was drawn up like a bow. He and Mr. Moose are really enjoying that news. He'd had too much to drink and was feeling mighty low. Bob had a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke encircled his head like a wreath. Joe had a broad face and a round little belly. He just stepped in dog poop, and boy was it smelly. Poor Joey. Are we having fun, boys and girls?
Yes, yes, fun,
Did you say fun?
Yeah, fun.
I knew you could. Yes. Betsy was short and slim as a tree, slippery and elegant. Slippery and eloquent. It doesn't matter, boys and girls. Slippery and eloquent, she drank only tea. Dave was fidgety, a real nervous man. I suddenly knew when he asked, "Where's the can?"
Rick was chubby and plump.
A right jolly old elf. And I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. Steve spoke not a word. He acted like a, no. Steve spoke like, no, Steve spoke.
Rick was chubby and plump.
A right old elf. See, I sometimes have problems reading this, but I'll get through. Steve spoke not a word and turned with a jerk. He walked to the bar and started his work. The morons played and played some more. Finally I said, "Please, no more." But before I could stop them, they played In the Mood. I'm glad it was that and not Dancing in the Nude. Santa sprang to the door and gave a whistle. And away the morons fled like a flight of a missile. But I heard the morons exclaim as they drove out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all good night." Boys and girls, Mr. Moose. Moose. You can say Mr. Moose? I knew you could. We'd all like to wish you Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Alcoa presents Fantastic Finishes.